Alright guys, so this is your pre-lecture for how to become a writer. A couple things. First off, it's a great story that is... Nice, buddy. That is... It's a great story that is written in a way that we are being addressed directly. Now I know she breaks the rule that we discussed earlier in the unit, but I want you to remember this original narration is one that's supposed to stick out. It's one that's supposed to be literally original, which does not mean you don't you're not allowed to use that same technique. But let's go and talk about the story ahead of time. First off, it's very interesting. It's called How to Become a Writer, and it spends a lot of the time dissuading you to become a writer. Now, what I want you to take note of first off is that it is a humorous piece. It's not one that's saying that if you want to be a writer that you need to go down this route. It's not saying that this is how you actually need to become a writer. That's not it at all. In fact, it is a humorous slant on that. It is a humorous parody, if you will, of what a lot of college writers actually go through, but not necessarily all of them. There are things like the relationship with her boyfriend, with her mother, with her own degree program, her lack of success, her moderate success, whatever it is. But I want you to pay attention specifically on how it's written. Number one, it's written in a way like, for instance, Poe, when we read the original narration in The Pit and the Pendulum, is that we occupy the emotional space and the brain space of the narrator. He doesn't directly address us. He's writing very broadly. He's writing in such a way that it is very much a story, like typical fiction would be. However, in How to Become a Writer, what we have is something a bit more interesting. See, we don't occupy the same brain space as the narrator. In fact, it's like we are directly next to her. We could be in the space of, obviously she addresses us directly, the audience, the reader. We could be possibly, like she's making a confession, or like she's making a discussion with her therapist or her best friend, whatever those things may be. That's how it's written, and that's how it's kind of put down. Now, it's a lot more linear than something like Fight Club would be. It's not as linear or chronological as the traditional fiction setup, as like Pit with the Pendulum, but it's very good overall. I do want to say this very quickly. This is something you would typically study in college, something that it's not very long. As you noticed, Pit and the Pendulum is quite a bit longer. It's probably the longest story we're reading in this course. I didn't want to tell you that ahead of time because I didn't want you to get intimidated by it. But it's really not a big deal. It's not that long, but it's a longer short story. It's a longer short story that we're studying in here anyway, and this is much quicker. In fact, I think the average time it takes to read this is like 8.5 minutes or something along that line. But it's really great and really hysterical in a very interesting way. But anyway, we'll talk more about that here in a moment. Go ahead, stop the video, read the story, and then click back here for your post-lecture.